Hello, and welcome back to Wild Worcestershire, the podcast celebrating the wildlife, the landscapes, and the people who make this county such a very special place. I'm your host, Lee Robinson, and today is a little bit magical, because this is our Christmas special. We're wrapping up 2025 with a warm, festive look back at the year, the achievements, the surprises, the moments that shaped our work, and the brilliant people who made it all happen. And joining me for this special episode is someone who's had quite a first year, the CEO of Worcestershire Wildlife Trust, Mike Perry. We'll be talking about what this year has meant for him, the Trust and Worcestershire Wildlife, and of course we'll sprinkle in some festive fun along the way. We'll also be having some fun with the staff across the Trust when we play a little Christmas game with them. So settle in, grab a mince pie, maybe a mulled something or other, because we're about to celebrate the wild side of Christmas in Worcestershire. So, Mike, welcome to Wild Worcestershire, and it's a very festive welcome to you. Now, you've just completed your first full year as a CEO, and I'd love to kick things off by asking what it's been like stepping into the role over the past 12 months.
It's been a challenge at times, but I've really enjoyed it. I've been at the Trust, for 8 years before taking on the role. So I knew the place inside out, really. Knew a lot of the people, obviously knew a lot of the staff. But the role is different and it is all encompassing and, it stops with you, really. So I felt really happy in the role. I felt really well supported. And really part of my job is to have a brilliant team, build a great team, and I'm really lucky that we have a fantastic team. That's made my job an awful lot easier.
Okay, great. Okay, so I've got a few questions for you this morning. The first one is, what's one moment this year that really made you feel proud to be leading Worcestershire Wildlife Trust?
Well, apart from the launch of our new podcast, because obviously that's a very proud moment. There's many, as always, but just to pick out one example, I think it was the first anniversary event of our Wilder Worcestershire project. This is the project, a community-based project working across the Solway up to Severn corridor, mostly in Droitwich and Worcester. The reason I felt proud, I suppose, is the work in Worcester in particular has taken several stages to get to where it is now. And along the way, there have been people who've been with us right from the start and people who we've been supporting just in recent months. And we were getting set up and just on the way in, and I bumped into Graham, who'd been involved in the Canal and River Users Group in Worcester for years. And one of the first groups, really, that we were engaging with and trying to make a difference for nature in the city. And it was that moment where you could take a step back and think how hard it has been to get to where we've been, and the people who've been with us the whole way, people like Graham, people like Jenny at Newtown Green in Runxwood, and several others, and just how many more there now is. And you look around and you think, actually, the community-based nature recovery work in Worcester has really gone up a level, and obviously there's so much more to do. But the interest is huge, but it just was a moment where you could step back and go, actually, the several different projects, the hard work, the effort, the energy that's gone into it has made a difference, and it has moved things forward. Right,
okay. So every first year comes with surprises, good and challenging. Was there anything that completely took you by surprise about running the Trust?
No, to be honest. I was responsible for about half of the Trust prior to taking on the new role, so I knew that pretty well. I think I'm also pretty nosy, really, so I was always taking an interest in everything else the Trust was doing, whether it was in my previous remit or not. I think the thing that never fails to surprise me, really, is just how fantastic the support we get from our supporters is. Yeah. Every time we turn to them for help, for fundraising efforts, they respond. So, this last year we were finishing our fundraising effort with trying to expand our Hanley Dingle Nature Reserve up near Tunbury Wells. So that was completed in April. and we went straight into fundraising for some land on Longdon Marsh, literally 2 weeks later. And so that started in late April, and we finished it in August, which is really quick. And that was, again, thanks to brilliant support we had. And then right towards the end of the year, we started fundraising for something that's been on the cards for a couple of years, which is trying to double the size of our Trenchwood Nature Reserve. And each time our supporters have responded and come alongside us, which, while it's happened year after year, it never fails to surprise me. So.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Okay. So, conservation work sometimes takes years to show results. But what's an achievement from 2025 that made a visible difference to our wildlife or our landscape?
You're dead right that it takes years, and there's plenty of examples where, even here at Lower Smythe Farm, where we planted trees 20 years ago, 15 years ago, that are really starting to mature now. So we have to look in decades all the time. Things during 2025 where you think we've put steps in place that in the future should be magnificent. One example is the work at Green Farm adjacent to Onmentwood Nature Reserve. So there's been plenty of trees that's been planted. There's some natural regeneration going on, and it's all been done with a vision of what's going to happen in 2060, which apparently is how long I have to work to beat Colin's record of being in charge for 13 years. So, but it's great. You're looking at the staff, and people are putting in place plans that are going to take decades to get to where we want them to be. But along the way, they're obviously going to provide benefits, every year, every decade. But it is with that longer term vision always.
Yeah, right. Okay. As we head into Christmas, are there any festive traditions within the Trust or any seasonal wildlife moments this year that have stuck with you?
So on the seasonal traditions, really, Christmas for us kicks off at our Christmas craft fair right at the end of November. That's when all the decorations come out, and that's when our rooms here get dressed up, and they stay until Christmas party, really, and then come down. So the Christmas craft fair is a brilliant time to support some local tradesfolk, but also raise some money for the Trust. Yeah. And also a good excuse to chat to a load of people. So they may be members, they may not, they may be volunteers, they may not, they may have been people who've been involved in the Trust previously, but it's always a great time of year. And then in terms of, for me personally, the kind of seasonal wildlife moment is always, I'm quite lucky in that, well, I have a small garden at home, but not far away, there's a bit more space. And there's a little owl that appears around this time of year, cooing away. And that, for me, seems to mark, Christmas approaching. So, thanks to the little owl. And for the listeners, it is a little owl, and it's also a species called little owl. Okay.
I think for me, this year, my outstanding moment personally has been seeing the kingfisher 10 feet away on a perch, which I was recording at the time, and the listeners will get to hear that a little bit later because it took my breath away. Yeah,
kingfisher's my favourite bird. I grew up not far from the River Severn, just on the Worcestershire-Gloucestershire border, and I remember when I must have been something like 10, I was down at the river, as I often was, and saw the kingfisher move. And then desperately disappointed not to see it for years and years and years, and then saw it again a few years later. And in fact, we had one at Smythe not so long ago on the pond here. So special moments when you see a kingfisher every time.
Very special. Okay. So can you share a story where our staff, volunteers or community partners went above and beyond in 2025?
Again, there's a big, long list. I think the team here work incredibly hard. For one example, I'll use a couple of our volunteers who might shoot me for choosing them as an example, but Joan and Rich, who are involved in all sorts for the Trust in terms of going above and beyond. Joan is one of our volunteer receptionists here. She chairs our local group in the Wyre Forest. Rich leads one of our conservation work parties and helps with some of the tools maintenance here. And in and around that, they have been selling books for us. We get donated books all the time, some of which stay in our library and some of which get sold to raise money for the Trust. and they're rapidly approaching raising nearly £10,000 for the trust over that time.
Wow.
And it's not like they've been selling books worth £200 and, it's just a few of those and suddenly the money racks up. This is anything from £2, upwards, and occasionally a bit more value. It just shows people really committed to making a difference and understanding that that action alone, which has meant their spare bedroom is full of boxes of books, has raised really significant amounts of money for the trust.
Wow. I'll take my hat off to them. That's
yeah, me too. I don't have a hat on yet.
I've got my
I'll put one on to take it off.
For the listeners, I've got my Santa hat on. Okay, looking ahead to 2026, what project or initiative are you personally most excited about?
Oh, I can't not mention this one really, which was in September this year. We got the go-ahead for a really significant landscape scale project in the east of the county called A Network for Nature. So January, what's basically happening at the start of January is we're appointing our project development officer. We then have about an 18-month period where we develop the project ahead of a second stage submission to the Heritage Lottery Fund. And if we do what we need to do, and if it's supported by the Heritage Lottery Fund, the total project will be about £3.6 million.
Wow.
That includes a major land purchase at Trenchwood. It involves capital works on various sites in the area. And importantly, significant land management advice in the area, building on about 15 years of working with the farming community there. And as if that's not enough, some community work also in the settlements in and around that area. So Bromsgrove, Redditch, Evesham, Pershore, and everything in between.
Right. Busy then.
Oh, it's going to be a busy year. Yeah. Great project, but lots to do.
Okay. Next question. If the Trust had a Christmas wish list this year, what would be number one on it?
Well, it's not the most exciting, but it's quite important in that what we really need is politicians really of all parties to wake up to the fact that the electorate, the general population really do care about nature. They really do care about the environment. There's just a disconnect at the moment between what the electorate want and what we're seeing in our politics. Obviously this year it's been pretty difficult. And in fact today, the planning and infrastructure bill that is regressive for nature, should become law. And there's several other changes coming through that we're concerned about. So the wish list for me, the top of the Christmas wish list, if I'd been a good boy, would be more supportive public policy agenda. That's again, not the most exciting, but our work sits within all of these frameworks and it can make nature conservation easier or it can make it harder.
Yeah.
And it's got to make it easier.
Yeah. It is a worrying time for nature in that respect. Yes. Anyway, moving on. On a personal note now, what's your favourite wildlife memory from the year? And it's a moment that made you smile the most.
Back to my little garden again. And I have two youngish kids, rapidly getting older. But we've had a toad in our garden. We've got a tiny little pond in the corner, but we have a toad that has been resident for a few years. And I think every year you're wondering, is it still there? Did it survive? And usually it's when you're moving something in the garden, like a bag of compost or you're wheeling the bin out for collection, and suddenly there you see it. And it's become a bit of a thing. You immediately go in the house and go and call my partner and our kids to come and have a look at it. And I don't know what it is. It's only a small thing, but it really does bring great joy. I like and appreciate the small moments, I guess.
Yeah.
Birds on the bird feeder, flowers growing in the garden. But yeah, the toad for me, when thinking about this question, that's what came to mind.
Well, I've got two collared doves that keep coming back. I've got a huge conifer tree in the garden, and they've nested, and we've watched the youngsters fledge and then leave, and then they've come back again, and we've seen them for the last couple of years. So I get quite excited around springtime. I'm sort of watching the tree in hope that they're going to come back.
Yeah, we do the same for the sparrows, basically, and we're lucky enough to still have some sparrows that have suffered some declines. But again, you're hearing some scratching in the gutters outside. So they're often nesting under the eaves and things.
Yeah.
you see them on the bird feeder, and suddenly it's inundated with sparrows, and you think, here they are again, and they've had another year, which is fantastic. So
it is.
But treasure the small moments, really.
It is, and I mean, earlier this year in my garden, I had a sparrowhawk come and land. Well, it was actually on next door's roof, which because we're on a bit of a hillside, we looked down, and he was sat there looking into the garden, and I was aware of it. I was actually working in the garden, and it was like full of bird song, and then all of a sudden it went quiet.
Like an eclipse.
Yeah, a total eclipse, and I stopped and I looked and I thought, well, that's not right. And then I looked around and I saw the sparrowhawk, and it was watching me. I was watching it, and it sat there for a couple of minutes and then took off. And then as soon as it had gone, the birds started singing again. So that was a very special
Holding
moment.
their breath.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us and to the listeners.
Well, thank you, Lee, and thanks for what you're doing for the Trust to Volunteer as well.
Yeah, really I know. I'm really do enjoy it. So. On behalf of everybody, I'd like to wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to our listeners.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Well, it was lovely chatting to Mike and finding out about the progress that the Trust has made this year, and looked at some of the challenges and also the hope looking forward into 2026. And one of the things that really comes through is that conservation isn't just about plans and strategies, but it's about people. The people who care, who show up in all weathers, and who bring energy, humour, and a little bit of heart to the work that they do every single day. So, in the spirit of Christmas, and because it wouldn't be Wild Worcestershire without a little bit of fun, I thought we'd lighten things up a bit. I've been catching up with some of the staff and the trustees, and I decided to play a little festive game with them. It's a game of this or that. Quick questions, instinctive answers, and maybe just a glimpse of the personalities behind the wellies and the waterproofs. So let's see how they got on. Okay, Jo. Roast potatoes or mashed potatoes?
Roasties?
Spring or autumn?
Oh, that's a really tough one. Autumn.
Mulled wine or hot chocolate?
Hot chocolate.
Holly or mistletoe?
Holly.
Water vole or dormouse?
Dormouse. I'm a sucker for the cute little things. Yeah.
Christmas pudding or Yule log?
Christmas pudding.
Sunrise or sunset?
These are really hard. Sunset.
Sprouts or parsnips?
Sprouts. I hate parsnips.
Wildflower meadow or bluebell woodland?
Wildflower meadow.
Brilliant, thank you. Okay, so we've got some this or that questions for you.
Okay.
The first one, roast potatoes or mashed potatoes?
Oh, roast potatoes all the way.
Okay. Spring or autumn?
Spring, definitely. Bumblebees.
Okay. Mulled wine or hot chocolate?
Oh, mulled wine, but in moderation though.
Okay. Holly or mistletoe?
I think it's got to be holly. Yeah.
Yeah. Water vole or dormouse?
Oh, dormice. Yeah,
Okay.
so cute. Yeah.
Christmas pudding or Yule log?
Christmas pudding. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Sunrise or sunset?
Oh, see, I'm quite moody in the morning, so it's going to have to be sunset.
Okay. Sprouts or parsnips?
Oh, do you know what? I'm going to go with the underdog and go sprouts.
Wildflower meadow or bluebell woodland?
Oh, wildflower meadow. Yeah. Give me the oxeye daisies.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to give you two alternatives. You've got to choose one. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Go.
Yep. Roast potatoes or mashed potatoes?
Mashed potatoes, provided there's lots of cream and butter in them.
Yeah. Spring or autumn?
Spring.
Mulled wine or hot chocolate?
Mulled wine.
Holly or mistletoe?
Holly.
Water vole or dormouse?
Oh, that's hard. Dormouse.
Christmas pudding or Yule log?
Yule log.
Sunrise or sunset?
Oh. Sunrise.
Sprouts or parsnips?
Sprouts.
Wildflower meadow or bluebell woodland?
Oh. Wildflower meadow.
Okay, so which of the following would you choose? Roast potatoes or mashed potatoes?
Roast, definitely.
Spring or autumn?
I'm going to have to go autumn.
Mulled wine or hot chocolate?
Oh, mulled wine.
Holly or mistletoe?
Mistletoe.
Water vole or dormouse?
Dormouse.
Christmas pudding or Yule log?
Yule log.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Sprouts or parsnips?
Neither.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we've got a this or that set of questions for
Okay.
you. So is it roast potatoes or mashed potatoes?
Both, obviously.
You're the first person who said that. Spring or autumn?
Can I have both? I really like coming to life in spring, but I really like the colours of autumn. Spring.
Spring.
Autumn.
Okay.
Spring.
Mulled wine or hot chocolate?
Oh, mulled wine at Christmas, but hot chocolate any other time. Yeah, that's obvious, isn't it?
Okay. Holly or mistletoe?
Mistletoe.
Okay. Water vole or dormouse?
Oh, that's not fair. I've seen more waterfalls than dormice, so I should pick water vole, shouldn't I?
Okay. Christmas pudding or Yule log?
Yule log.
Okay. Not both?
No, chocolate definitely has it.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset, because sunrise is way too early.
Sprouts or parsnips?
Oh no, that's a difficult one. Sprouts.
Okay. Wildflower meadow or bluebell woodland?
Wildflower meadow.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so roast potatoes or mashed potatoes?
All roast.
Okay. Spring or autumn?
Spring.
Mulled wine or hot chocolate?
Hot chocolate.
Holly or mistletoe?
Holly.
Water vole or dormouse?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to go dormouse.
Okay. Christmas pudding or Yule log?
Yule log.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Sprouts or parsnips?
Sprouts.
Wildflower meadow or bluebell woodland?
Oh, wildflower meadow.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. Roast potatoes or mashed potatoes?
If it's my dad's, it'd be the roast potatoes, yeah.
Okay.
Nothing better.
Spring or autumn?
Spring.
Mulled wine or hot chocolate?
Mulled wine.
Holly or mistletoe?
I like holly.
Water vole or dormouse?
Dormouse.
Christmas pudding or Yule log?
Yule log.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Sprouts or parsnips?
Sprouts.
Wildflower meadow or bluebell woodland?
Bluebells. Bluebell woodland.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you. There we go. Okay, this or that questions.
Yeah.
Roast potatoes or mashed potatoes?
Roast potatoes, every time. Every time.
Spring or autumn?
Spring.
Okay. Mulled wine or hot chocolate?
Mulled wine.
Holly or mistletoe?
Holly.
Water vole or dormouse?
Dormouse.
Everybody said that. Christmas pudding or Yule log?
Yule log. I love a bit of chocolate.
Okay. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Sprouts or parsnips?
Sprouts. Controversial, maybe.
Yeah, controversial. Wildflower meadow or bluebell woodland?
Wildflower meadow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I absolutely loved recording that segment. I particularly liked the fact that it was quick decisions, no overthinking. And I think people really showed their true personalities. And that's the thing. Behind all the serious conservation work, the strategies, the funding bids, the early starts and the muddy boots, there's a lot of humanity, a lot of laughter, and a real sense of people doing this because they care. Which brings me neatly to something I mentioned earlier when I was chatting with Mike, and that's my own personal highlight of the year. Because while 2025 has been full of big projects and important conversations, sometimes it's the quieter moments that stay with you, the ones that stop you in your tracks and remind you why this work matters, not just professionally, but personally too. So before we head into the final part of this Christmas special, I want to take a moment to share one of those moments with you, which is my own personal highlight of the year. And the pond is quite a haven. I mean, there are newts and frogs and toads and snails. And, oh, there's a kingfisher. There's a kingfisher. There is a kingfisher right in front of me. And he's just sat and he's just perched on a branch above the pond. And I just got the flash of the blue iridescent, but he's sat there. He's not moved, he's not fazed by me. Wow, it's the closest I've ever been to a kingfisher. Absolutely beautiful, just sat there. Oh, he's just moved. He's just dived onto the water. He's gone for something. Tadpole or something, or a minnow or something. Oh, that's incredible. That's the longest I've ever seen a kingfisher sit. I've seen blue flashes, but I've never seen one so close. It was literally about 10 feet away from me. That's just made my day. And that feels like the perfect place to leave things. For me, one of the real highlights of this year was that moment of stillness, just standing quietly and being lucky enough to be just a few feet away from a kingfisher. It was that little flash of blue and that pause in time. One of those moments that reminds you exactly why protecting these places and species matters so much. You can't plan for moments like that, you just have to be present for them. Now, if today's episode has inspired you and you'd like to find out more about the work of Worcestershire Wildlife Trust, you can visit the Trust's website. The link is in the episode description. There's loads on the website about our reserves, projects, volunteering opportunities and ways in which you can get involved. So from all of us here at Worcestershire Wildlife Trust, thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting wildlife in our county, and we wish you a very, very Merry Christmas and a happy, hopeful New Year. We'll see you back in the new year with an episode that shines a light on some of the work with natural networks, and in particular a project at Ball Meadow. So until then, take care, enjoy the season and stay wild.